I request, dear Director Principal Sir, to please address the valedictory gathering.
Mr. Venkatachalam said, "You look very serious, stiff." Now, that was principal's order. Now, the principal orders, relax. Winston Churchill, when he was addressing the army and he found the mic in front of him, as he was speaking in his oratory passion, pulled that mic and threw it out because he said, "I don't want anything between me and soldiers. I don't want to throw this mic, but instead, I want a hand mic." Over the years, I have been a teacher, and I always believe a teacher should be on his feet and not on his seat. And for that reason, an obstruction like this is also a little uncomfortable for me, so I move in out. I would like to thank the Almighty for giving us this day, a wonderful day, beautiful day, a day to remember, a day to cherish. And I would also like to thank Dr. Jagdish Mittur, and Mrs. Srimati Mittur for setting their footprints on our premises with their academic aura, and we look forward to their blessings when they address you. I also thank Mrs. Nafisa Ahmed, the Director of PGI, who represents the entire management and the family, for gracing this occasion and make us feel so comfortable with her presence. Thank you, Nafisa. I thank all my colleagues and friends who have graced this occasion. I thank my valedictorians, Shashank and Barnali. Wonderful speech. I thank Mr. Venkatachalam and Mr. Sivagami for motivating us and inspiring us, and probably that goes in line with our theme today. Having said all this, I have an apology. Apology to my parents for putting you in a very compact place, our home ground. We welcome you with wholeheartedness and with great pride that you are a very important stakeholders and you have been always cooperative in all our endeavors. Thank you and welcome. Today, as we see, except maybe somewhere in the dark shade, we see faces and faces. I see faces on the rear side. I see faces here. I see the beautiful faces. And I'm sure that your parents out there would be like to see the face of their daughter or a son. We always cherish the faces that we see. We have seen you, my dear students, in various types of faces, as some of you have already narrated. We have seen you as a person with different faces. Faces in action, faces in various roles, students without faces. You may wonder what is it? During the pandemic time, we saw students without faces. We as a remote teacher and you as a remote learner. Why I said without faces, many of you did not show your faces during the online classes. Now with students with faces in the in-person classes. That's a great privilege, and I am very overwhelmed that that is happening now. And I think you are also very excited about it. I saw your excitement the last few months. When I talk about faces, just like the morning shows the day, we, my team and myself, as you enter the gate, we see your faces. As the theme says, similarly, we feel awakened that when we see your faces. Over the years, I have seen faces of students, and these faces always, I think they are also smiling at their own faces. No, a face has such a charm. That's what I believe. And as a photographer, I see all of you in a frame of faces. I am sure this day and always, whenever we see the photographs of your days in school, you will always try to identify the faces. Who is your biology teacher? Who is your chemistry teacher? Who is your friend, neighborhood? And who is your rival in the class? All this you will discuss by looking at the faces. That's the beauty of the recollection of faces. And your faces have been always a kind of an inspiration. I think all our teachers and entire teaching fraternity will believe and would agree that today what we are as teachers is because of looking into the eyes of your faces. At that time you don't see the faces, we see your eyes. The reception that we get from you while teaching is the inspiration. The awakening is when we see you in the main gate. The inspiration is when we look into your eyes and teach. I think all the teachers will agree. In my earlier days of teaching, there was no Google, no internet, no laptop, no computer. I was somewhere near Bokaro Steel City, a very small place, but the school was, of course, run by Damodar Valley Corporation. But we didn't have a good library. I used to go to Calcutta, taking an overnight train to Calcutta, go to the College Street, pick up books, reference books, and since I was teaching in those days ICSE school, I used to pick up the books of Shakespeare's plays. That was a great passion. And teaching Shakespeare's play, mesmerizing through the eyes of the students and looking at their faces of receptivity, gave me a lot of inspiration as a teacher. Me as a teacher and my student as a learner, the relationship was so intense that as I was teaching the Shakespeare's play, there was one girl, still I remember, her name was Shimanti Chakravarti. she was always busy taking notes. And as I teach in a dramatics method, I used to act out the scenes of witches, Julius Caesar, Mark Antony's speech, whatsoever. And this girl, of course, whatever play was applicable to them, she used to take down notes. Note taking is a great asset. And when I looked at, one day I just asked for the notebooks, and when I saw the notebook, I found all that came as a flow from me looking into the faces, looking into the eyes of the students, connecting with them, and that receptivity and the inspiration that I got came as a flow, and this girl was noting down. And that gave me an awakening that yes, I need not always connect with students whom I teach. I can also connect with students whom I don't teach. And with the help of that notebook, I started working to write my first book on the abridged version of Merchant of Venice. See how a student can be an inspiration to a teacher, can be an awakening to bring out and transform him. That is the change, according to our theme, from a teacher to an author. And his books are being used all across the country. The last I heard about it was one last copy I got it, and that was with my friend who passed away recently, and his son was studying in Bishop Cotton School. And that is the only copy I have now. See, a student note-taking is such a marvelous experiential learning. I will come back to you a little later on this note-taking. I was just trying to connect my journey as a teacher in terms of our theme, awake, inspire, and change. As a teacher, so many things have happened. Now, awake, the word awake in a verb form means awake from sleep. I think you need to awake from where you are. You need to understand why you are doing what you are doing. Why you do not go little higher than what you are doing? Why you don't go beyond the boundary of what you are doing? That is awakening. If that awakening comes, I think you don't require a motivational speaker to create that awakening. It has to come from within. The treasure is within. If that happens, that awakening happens. And what is that awakening? The urge to do. Urge to do beyond what I am doing. Urge to score more than what I got in the last exam. Above all, what you need now, post-pandemic, is to develop your skills. Knowledge you have. The first term CBSE results of grade 10 and grade 12 has been marvelous. I just brought a few statistics. You might have got the results. 10th class, we got 86 students who got 100% in various subjects. I am not giving you the breakup of English, science and all, but I am very proud there is 100 in Sanskrit also. And 103 out of 194 students in distinction. And 12th class, we got out of 67 students, 24 of them got 100 marks in various subjects. And 30 got distinction. Why I brought these statistics? To show the potential in you. Reimaging post-pandemic educational scenario, saying that there is a lot of learning loss, learning gap. This is all, yes, it could be. But you have consolidated. We kept the learning going on. We sustained it. As Mr. Venkatachalam had rightly said, we worked hard. The pandemic time was an awakening for us, and our teachers did a marvelous job as a content designer, as a resource person, as a people who took various sources and inputs from the online resources. They designed to keep you engaged. That was the gift of pandemic. Let us see the positive side of pandemic. The positive side of pandemic is that you have been a learner, though a remote learner, you have consolidated learning, you now have to develop your skill, writing skill, communication skill, thinking skill, critical thinking, whatever way, analytical thinking, all is required when you are in person reading the question paper or doing the exercise in your textbook. As Mr. Venkatachalam has rightly said, and you have answered his question, Swami Vivekananda said, "Arise, awake, arise, stop not till you reach the goal." Reimaging post-pandemic scenario, you have to arise. Don't think of what has happened in 2 years. Think of what you can do ahead. You are very blessed that CBSE has conducting the examination April 26, giving you enough scope to make up the lost grounds. And our teachers are working very hard, and I'm sure you will make up the lost ground. What statistics today I shared, hopefully I will hear this statistics after the CBSE 10th class and 12th class examination results. Will I be able to get that result? Yes, sir. The girls saying yes, sir. The boys are still stiff. Can I hear that? Will you give me the result? Yes, sir. Yes. Please remember, a teacher remains a teacher throughout his life. The principal retires. I will be your teacher always, all the time. And I look forward for that beautiful farewell gift for me in terms of CBSE result. Will you give me that result? Yes, sir. Loud and clear? Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for those inspiring words.